Hey, how's everybody doing today? Coming at you with some ramblings of a short, fat, bald guy. Um, I don't know how long this will be like normal. I'm going to say probably fairly lengthy. We're going to talk about the Ukraine and what's going on over there. Um, Obviously, it's a mess. Over 1 million people now have left the country uh, and are in Poland and surrounding countries of Europe due to the Russian invasion, unprovoked Russian invasion of the country of Ukraine. Um, it's funny. I see things online, and one of the first things I see is that if Donald Trump was president, this wouldn't have happened. I can or can't disprove that. My opinion is this was going to happen no matter what. Vladimir Putin is an old school communist, old school from the Soviet Union. He was, part of the KGB, and uh, he views the downfall of the USSR as a failure for previous leaders. And he has visions of reinstating the USSR to what it was. Um, you know, whether this would have happened if Donald Trump was president or not, I don't know. I personally think it would have happened no matter what. But of course, a lot of my Trump supporting friends feel that, they were afraid of Trump because he was unpredictable. So it would have never happened. I'm going to tell you right now, Vladimir Putin's not afraid of anybody. Vladimir Putin regularly, his country and his Secret Service and all that, regularly engage in state sanctioned assassinations. They poison and kill the people that are his detractors. They throw you in prison for speaking out. And so if you think that Vladimir Putin is afraid of Donald Trump, you're delusional. Um, Vladimir Putin's not afraid of anything. And he also made comment, and I guess I shouldn't say he's not afraid of anything, because the one thing that came out in his comments, he of course has put his nuclear forces on high alert, because in his words, a world without Russia doesn't need to be around. It doesn't need to exist. And so Vladimir Putin's basically afraid of losing Russia. I don't. Russia's not going anywhere. Russia will always be Russia. Vladimir Putin may go somewhere. I'm hoping, hell in a handbasket. But what do I know? The Ukrainian or the Russian people have been told for years that the Ukraine government is full of Nazis and terrorists and thieves, and that is what the Russian government has been feeding them. The funny thing about that is the president of Ukraine is Jewish. His family, some family members died in the Holocaust. So I tend to can't see how they're Nazis, but hey, what do I know? Drug addicts, that was the other thing. All drug addicts and all that. Um, you know, the Ukrainian people have shown how resilient they really are. A little over a week into this incursion / invasion by the Russian military, they have put up a very good fight for people that really don't want to fight. I mean, this is on their land, and Russia is trying to take it. He, of course, Vladimir Putin said that he was going to go in and secure the Donbass region because there are some Russian separatists in that region. well, he's well beyond the Donbass region. When you're working on Kiev, as they say now, not Kiev, Kiev, that's way far inland and obviously has nothing to do with the Donbass region, other than the fact that Vladimir Putin wants to have President Zelensky removed from power, and he wants to put in his own puppet regime that will do whatever the Russians say. Excuse me. The Ukrainian people are not going to roll over and just give up, which is what I truly think Vladimir Putin was hoping for. I really think that he thought in a week's time they were going to be done with this and he would have his puppet regime installed and in power in Ukraine. What we've seen over the last 7-8 days is a lot of saber rattling by Vladimir Putin, threatening use of nuclear forces, putting them on high alert. I know people have asked, well, why hasn't the U.S. put theirs on high alert? The U.S. nuclear capability, we are always on high alert. There are always people in the silos. They're manned 24/7, 365 days a year. There's never a case that they're not manned. Those silos are always manned. And so for him to say that he's putting them on high alert is sort of funny. Ours are always on high alert. So, whatever. The only thing that we don't have in the air all the time are strategic bombers with nuclear-tipped cruise missiles and nuclear bombs and things like that. But our silos are always ready to go. And, it hopefully will not come to that. Do I support the Ukraine? Absolutely. They're a democratically elected society. Again, some of my more conservative friends may disagree because, of course, there's the whole incident, if you go back with Hunter Biden and the Burisma thing, and they're saying that, they were put in there by Democrats and they're crooked and blah, 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 whatever. I'm tired of arguing and having disagreements with all of you. Long and short of it, I don't care who it is. A country invading another country is terrible. It's war. Now, is this going to end happily? I don't think it will. Unfortunately, I feel that eventually Zelensky will be caught and either will be executed or killed in action because he's fighting with his people. And unfortunately, then a puppet regime will be put in place, or a puppet government will be put in place by the Russian regime. And I don't know what type of treatment the Ukrainian people will have. If their president dies, I feel that they will give up. Russia is Russia. Putin wants the USSR back. The other thing we have is NATO. NATO is not really assisting other than providing weapons to the Ukrainian army, NATO and military. Ukraine is not a member of NATO, which is one of the big concerns that Putin had, was he does not want the Ukraine to become a member of NATO. Again, I'm not a statesman, but to me, the easy answer to this, since Ukraine doesn't meet the criteria to be a NATO member at this point, the easy thing is to say, okay, fine, they're not going to be a member of NATO. And in 5 years, if we want to revisit it, we revisit it. There are accords and agreements broken all the time and revisited, and because things change. So I think that would have solved the problem maybe for 5 years. But again, not a statesman, so what do I know? Here in this country, of course, gas prices are $4 a gallon because we do buy about 10% of our oil comes from Russia. And so gas prices have gone up which we knew they would. Um, I think we could fix a lot of that problem by stopping the export of so much of our oil. We actually export more oil than we import, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let's keep it here in our country and keep our gas prices low. But hey, again, you know, I'm not getting rich off of being an oil man like so many in this country do. Um, I still say that the oil prices are truly due to corporate greed, and you know, supply and demand is obviously a part of it. Futures are a part of it, but the people that are screaming online about the Keystone XL pipeline wasn't our pipeline, wasn't our oil. Canadian, going to the refineries down on the Gulf Coast to be shipped overseas. Wasn't going to help us. And, I think we could revisit it, maybe, look at a different way to do this. But all that really was going to do was help TC Energy, the owner of that pipeline. TC as in Trans-Canadian. Again, that's the owner. Was just going to make more money. Even though they have an outlay for a long, huge pipeline, they're no longer paying to ship their oil either via rail or tanker semi. So, we'll see. Anyway, things are a mess in the Ukraine and across this country. On the bright side, COVID seems to be down on a downswing again. Hopefully that continues. I think that we're going to get to a point where we have to just live with COVID as best we can and go from there. But, to this point, it's heading downhill, and I'm okay with that. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Enough ramblings of a short, fat, bald guy. Everyone have a good day.